Hi, Gil from Testing Gil here. If I walked up to you in the street, grabbed my ears in my hands and said, "Nanu, nanu," you'd know exactly what to do. Send me to the crazy house. Or, if you watch Smoked and Mindy, you'll greet me back. "Nanu, nanu." Because you and I, we have an understanding. We have common language. And APIs are exactly the same. APIs include a lot of components. Header, parameters, request bodies, and response bodies. All these are part of a publicized contract. If I, as a client, talk with these APIs according to this contract, I'm expecting a reply. They will know how to answer me. So, maybe before asking, do they work? Are these API doing what they're supposed to do? Maybe we should ask, are they speaking the language they are contracted to do? After all, if the APIs don't understand what we're sending them, they won't answer back. And if they answer in a language that we don't understand, that's a problem too. So let's talk about schema testing. While headers and parameters are simple, request bodies and response bodies can get quite complex. They can come even in different formats: JSON, XML, even binary. But a format, like JSON, doesn't tell us if we can actually understand each other. It's not enough. The schema is the contract, what the API expects to receive and what it sends back. What types are the different fields? Which parameter is required and which is optional? And of course, what isn't? And we can write tests for that to make sure. Here's an example. In our Bigger Better bookstore, we have an API to add a book. Let's look at the schema description. You see, the request body is already complex. The schema definition creates the boundaries of what it can expect. The title is mandatory. There can be more than one author. The price must be a number, and genre is optional. And for a successful result, we see what we get back. So here's a single test that checks some of these things. I check the title is required, and that authors can be more than one. If any of these things fail, all my functional tests may be redundant, because if the API doesn't speak this language, my functional test assume it does. Now, you're probably thinking, I already have functional tests that test these things. Since they work, am I not partly covered for the structural parts? Well, initially yes, but there are two cases where schema testing is really important. And so you'd want to add the schema tests to the functional tests. The first case is where your API is public. It's published for the whole world to see. You see, if the API is only used internally, if something goes wrong, the developers, front and the back end, talk to each other, hash things out, and fix it. That's not a big problem. But if your API is public, you actually published a contract for the whole world. You're obligated by the contract. And the whole world can read your contract and can start throwing a whole lot of things at you, and they probably will. Now, you can't test every input that they might throw at you, but at least you can check that if they talk to you correctly, you know how the answer will be. You can cover the structural parts. And you can use your Genie to generate these tests for you. Genies are very good with schema tests. The second case where schema tests are important is versioning. APIs are notorious for changing, so they have versions. The problem is that multiple clients all over the world might call different versions of your API. Each one has its own contract. So it's the same problem we had before, just multiplied by 5. And in order to make sure that at least we speak the language of all 5 versions of the API, we want schema tests for them. So let's sum up. Schema tests help identify and maintain the contract that your API publishes to the entire world. The tests tell you that if someone or some bot read the documentation, it will at least understand the shape of the data coming in and coming out. And after you passed these tests, well, you have a lot of functional tests run. On July 15th, I'm running a webinar on how to be a master asserter. How to make sure that your tests check the right thing and don't miss anything important. And the schema, it's just one layer. Link below. Now tell me, do you write schema validation tests? If so, what drove you to do that? And if not, what bug will tell you that you actually need to do this? Thanks for watching. If you like this video, like, subscribe, share it, and watch other videos on this channel. Until next time, bye-bye.